Hey guys, how's it going? Companion here. Today I want to talk about GvG. Yeah, that's not the most recent expansion, I know, but there's some reason to it. Now that we're past BlackRock, we're like more than one expansion past GvG, and the dust is settled, and it's been enough time to where cards can actually start being nerfed. It's about the time where Blizzard's like, yeah, okay, we sold enough packs, we got to nerf some of these really, really gross cards. And a lot of players are talking about this. A lot of players, when they were reviewing BlackRock mounting cards, I noticed that people who participate in tournaments, fairly well-known Hearthstone players, they would review a card and be like, yeah, this card is good, this card is broken. But at the end of all these, it's like, well, at least it doesn't have a lot of ridiculous, retarded RNG. And that's really what I want to go over. How the game has changed through GvG, because GvG introduced by far the most randomness into the game, but I think randomness is pretty good. Like before GvG, I really liked some of the random cards, but I could kind of understand how, in a tournament setting, there are a lot of things that get affected from RNG. From my understanding, the biggest upset to players who try to take Hearthstone, on a professional level, on an esports level, not they don't really dislike RNG cards. They dislike cards that have just a wild range of RNG, and it just so happens that these are the most powerful cards, and they're ones that are still being used, and they're basically like almost core to some decks. So to give you guys an example, like, if you play a Mad Bomber, it used to be that they'd have a 2 health creature. You play a Mad Bomber, you kill the 2 health creature, you like win the game. Well, these days that 2 health creature is like a haunted creeper that, even if it dies, the thing that's left over will just kill the bomber. So that stuff is like old school. That's like old school bad RNG. The new school bad RNG, just to give you guys some example, is so ridiculous that it single like one card's RNG can single-handedly dictate the outcome of any match. So cards in this category, number one, we have Implosion. So Implosion is like a scaled RNG card because, if you hit for 4 on like a 4 health creature, you also get 4 imps. The difference between 4 damage and 4 1/1s and 2 damage and 2 1/1s is huge by itself, but decks that run Implosion run Knife Juggler as well. So you have Knife Juggler Implosion, so the difference is 8 total damage and 4 1/1s, or 4 total damage and 2 1/1s. And if you only have like 2 imp spawns, sometimes the juggles don't even do anything. So really the range is like 2 damage versus 8 damage and 2 extra 1/1 creatures. And that is like crazy RNG, okay? And this is what happened. This is what happened from this change in Hearthstone, the change that pro players, let's say, really fucking hated. It made it so tournament results are far more inconsistent than they were before, and in the general scheme of things, when you like ladder up, that kind of stuff, you have sometimes some pretty ridiculous moments. The thing is, I think this has some benefit. The main benefit is that, well, I personally like to see dreams crushed by, ridiculous RNG, like the Implosion and Juggle action, for instance, especially in tournament formats. I certainly wouldn't want to be the players participating, but as a viewer, as the player watching this stuff, I find it hilarious. So yes, I'm a bit, I guess, I don't know, sadistic in some regard with that, but I think a lot of people really share this idea. The thing is, with the amount of RNG involved in Hearthstone post GvG, the downside of this is people take Hearthstone as an esport somewhat less seriously because of this like ridiculous RNG range. Just to give you guys a few more examples, because this is like some really fun stuff. Unstable Portal still being used by Mage. You can Unstable Portal and you can get, oh, I don't know, like a Wisp. Yep. Or you could get like Growmash, and then you could cast another one, and you could get Faceless, and then you can play Growmash, ping your Faceless, and ping Growmash, and then Faceless to Gromash, and yeah, you'd probably win that game. Yeah, so that's pretty fucking insane, isn't it? One that some people really kind of overlook is the Piloted Shredder. The Piloted Shredder has so many nuances. It's kind of a card that's really awesome. I really like this card. There's a lot of strategy involved. You want to place it between creatures because of things like Flame Tongue or Dire Doggy when it dies. But at the same time, you have to weigh the risk of that it can spawn a Doomsayer. You have to weigh the risk that it can spawn a lot of things that can really affect the game. You know, it may seem like a game is over, but you might have Piloted Shredder and it's not over. But really, the range of the RNG can be like absolutely insane. Like you play down a Piloted Shredder, Pilot Sky Golem, I mean, they kill your Pilot Sky Golem, then they pops out a Piloted Shredder, then they kill your Piloted Shredder, and out comes fucking Millhouse, you know? So you paid 6 mana for like, what is that? 8, 7 plus 6, 4. 14, 11 worth of stats in a creature that you have to kill in 3 different series of attacks. It's just like ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, right? And that's actually happened to me. Okay, so you know, I know how insane it is, and I know the frustration, but people like to see the stuff. So there's that aspect to it, and this ranges to like Sneeds. Sneeds sometimes, you know, can get out a Kel'Thuzad and then revive the Sneeds, or even worse in some cases, which you guys will see here in a second with the clips. And of course, the big culprit, the main fun ruiner in terms of tournaments, Dr. Boom, Dr. Balanced himself. This card is so ridiculous that in some instances, playing like super heavy control decks, you know, I'm sitting there with a 9-drop, I'm like Ysera versus Dr. Boom. I look at the cards like, I have 10 mana, I can only play one thing. Ysera, Dr. Boom. Ysera, Dr. Boom. You know, so like it's just absolutely absurd. It's so strong, but it's not that it's just so strong. It's that when Dr. Boom really sucks versus Dr. Boom being ridiculous, that range is so absurd and really does kind of ruin the integrity of some of the tournaments. I mean, you know, sometimes Boombots with like a full board hit face for 1, twice. And in other cases, they hit face for 4, and somehow the turn after he played Dr. Boom, he did 15 damage and created a lethal situation that was pretty hard to imagine. And in other cases, you know, people have like Belchers, and like one Belcher dies to one Boombot, another Belcher dies to the other Boombot, and then Dr. Boom is still there. And, you know, the range of the RNG is a thing we've kind of learned to live with in Hearthstone, but I do have to agree that it really shouldn't be any bit further than this. So even though a lot of people have found some of the Blackrock Mountain cards somewhat underwhelming compared to GvG, I think it's a good thing that Blizzard really didn't push the game in this direction any further. Anyway, guys, I'm going to show you guys some of the clips of just the wildest interactions that I've had recently with some of these radical RNG cards, so you guys can really understand what I'm talking about. And, well, I'm sure you guys love to see souls get crushed, and souls were crushed in these clips. Enjoy them, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's just crush that board. This garbage again.
We have many secrets.
Whatever.
Well played.
Wow! Piloted Shredder from a piloted Sky Golem into Millhouse. What the fuck kind of crack shredder was that, dude?
I'm gonna downsize.
This guy's toast.
Here we go.
That's such bullshit! What the fuck? What? Oh my god.
From the void I come. Hey, lights out.
Shadow Fire.
Summon me.
This card is so fucking balanced, dude. It really blows me away sometimes. Speaking of which, let's get a full health one. So fucking balanced, dude. Do we have it? With this, do we have it? That's 3, 10, 15, 16. No, with this it's one short. We need lucky bombs. What? Come on, bro. The fuck is that? That was literally the only way we wouldn't kill him. By the way.
Let me think.
Just give him a bunch of life, I guess.
Weapons ready.
Move quickly. For justice.
Okay. Fuck, I'm gonna lose.
My shield for Argus. Reporting for duty.
Yeah, I'm dead. Well, no, I can try to get a relevant legendary here. That was crappy.
My command.
Let the games begin. That's a mistake.
Okay. Okay. On the RNG scale, I think that's a 9. And a half. Yeah. No RNG involved at all, man. At fucking all.